I want to ask you something about that. I saw him doing a bunch of promotions and marketing for this whole funnel hub thing. Did you see it? I saw him. He had an ad where you can listen to this podcast episode where he met these two guys that, that were talking about it, right?
Yeah, so Mike and AJ, they had an agency where they were building these funnel hubs for other people in Inner Circle and just different clients where it was like, hey, we're going to build you this website on ClickFunnels. And they approached Russell and said like, hey, let's start building out this new software that can do all of these things that any normal WordPress site or website does in ClickFunnels. So you can get the corporate people who need the about, the services, the programs, and the blogging. So that was the whole thing.
But why was he calling it the funnel hub? Like I watched the video for maybe half an hour trying to figure out what they were getting at.
Exactly.
It was like, okay, so you made a website. He's basically saying, yeah, they're saying like they took all the funnels, they basically just created like pages or tabs on one website. So I can go to jeffbrewer.com and then just see all your funnels. But sometimes you kind of don't want that in a way sometimes, right? Certain people see the funnel at
Correct.
certain times, right? You want to time it. So I was like, well, why? It doesn't really make a lot of sense to just have all your funnels out there, right? So I was kind of trying to get at it. And I was like, okay, so they made a website, right? And I was like, okay, I didn't get it. And I don't even know what the whole opportunity was. He was selling something about this whole funnel hub thing.
So when I first got started, I was a digital marketing agency and I built hundreds of WordPress websites for clients, right? So a lot of those clients were in that corporate world, not necessarily like the online entrepreneur world. So the thing I realized when I came in the Russell's Inner Circle Mastermind, he would iterate this notion all the time. It's a confused customer never buys, right? So when you go to a website, it's kind of like you're walking into a grocery store where you have all the different aisles and most people shop by walking down each aisle one at a time and think, what do I need? What do I want? So you're in there for hours, then you leave and you went in there for a loaf of bread, you came out with your shopping cart overflowing, right? And it's overwhelming. So the notion of a confused customer never buys is solved by the concept of a funnel. Let me direct an avatar to one page, trying to take them to do one type of action, whether it's opt into a lead magnet, opt into register for a webinar or a virtual event, buy a live event ticket, buy a low ticket digital product. And then you can put them through a series of pre-launch content in the product launches we do. And then you eventually send them to a sales page to invest in a core offer course or a membership or some type of application page, right? To get them on the phone and invest in a high ticket program. So this notion of funnels being the way to get one type of avatar to do one action, the probability of them taking that one action is a lot higher. It's like, do you want to do this or yes or no, right? But what they realized is, like I said, they kind of tapped out all the people who are already using funnels, who are funnel aware. So in order to exponentially grow the user base, they need to start directly competing with the utility that the normal website and WordPress sites give them, which is having one place where you can see the abouts, all the services, programs, products you offer and sell, and then the ability to be able to blog. Because there's a lot of people that just, no matter what, they're not going to use ClickFunnels because those features and that utility of the website isn't available. And there's just, when you get to our level and you have a fully built out value ladder, there's a lot of people who come into your world and they don't want a free plus shipping offer. They don't want a tripwire. They don't want a lead magnet. They just want to go straight into investing in your highest paid program or at least applying to learn more about that. So the idea of the funnel hub, it's like one-stop shop. That is your site that can link to all of your different funnels in your value ladder. I've just found that there are people online, they either value their money more than their time. So they want to invest the least amount of money and allocate more time to do it on their own. So those types of people are going to invest in challenges, front-end funnels, low ticket products, memberships, courses, right? Then there's people like myself and other people in masterminds where we value our time more than our money, where we would rather spend and invest more money to shortcut the path to success and reduce the time it takes us to be successful, have our time sped up, being able to ask questions, get them answered, get those personalized problems and objections solved immediately so that we can become successful and achieve our desired transformation as soon as possible. Not just assuming that only people who are clicking on your ad should go to front-end funnels and then gradually over time ascend up your value ladder. You can get high ticket clients leads on the phone and or attending a webinar and applying right away. So I think it's needed, right, to capture that market, like the 89 million people that have WordPress sites. They can now go after that market and try to get those people on a funnel hub instead of their WordPress website. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about some people that I've seen that do something similar to what I think they're calling a funnel hub, basically.
Plus, when we were building these in my agency, when we were creating these WordPress sites, every site was custom. So we would do a custom design. We're wireframing, designing pages. And in Photoshop for clients. They would approve them. We would have to cut those designs to HTML and install them on WordPress, customize the CMS so it's a fully WYSIWYG editor that can make edits to anything without having to know any code. So it was a very expensive process to build that kind of site. It cost us more money to make it look unique, custom design and custom develop a site that we could then sell for a higher priced amount. So now you could pretty much create these funnel hub templates and create more websites that you could sell for a lower dollar amount so you get more sales, and then you roll them out, sell a greater quantity in a shorter time frame so you can make a higher dollar amount at the end of it. So it's not just only like a premium custom design development solution. So I think a lot of people who are going to be offering these funnel hubs as a service, it's more of a personalization of, you know, an existing template, and they have 4, 5, 8, 10 templates that you can choose from, and then you just personalize it and make it for them, as opposed to building something from the ground up that takes a lot of time and costs a lot of money, but is a higher ticket premium service, the way that I was doing in my agency 10 years ago. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I have here on my screen just some examples that I remember seeing of kind of what I might consider here a funnel hub. One was Scott Olford's website. I noticed that when he went in there, you go to workshops and he's got all these various programs. He's got 21 laws of scaling a profitable business. It's free. Skip the pitch. It's $197. And he's got this 5-day online marketing sales workshop, $200. He's got all these other programs. You go here to view programs, and he's got a bunch of other programs. You can kind of like a la carte select what you want, right? Another one that I remember seeing this a long time ago was Grant Cardone, right? You go to Grant Cardone's website, he has a store, and in the store, he just has all these courses and stuff that he's made over the last, 10, 20 years, right? Even some of the stuff is really old stuff. You can also just go and buy merch and, whatever, full on store. You can just shop there all the time. And what's interesting with him is he does like sales kind of like Amazon would do, like an Amazon Prime Day kind of thing. He just does sales in a shop.
Right.
You can go in there and go and buy some stuff. It's interesting. And the other person is, I know is Dan Locke doing this as well. You go on a Dan Locke site, same thing. And he has a whole store with all these various products that kind of target these different markets, right? And I'm sure they have other funnels that you don't see on their website too, right? These are just the ones that you can kind of like choose your own adventure in a way, versus traditionally you don't do that. I think if you go to Russell Brunson's website, I don't think he has a funnel hub. Let's just see.
If you go to russellbrunson.com, he does have a funnel hub there. The other thing too, I would add in, it's a way to aggregate your organic content on social. So you can also put in like a feed from your blog on that same site. You can put in a feed from your short form content, Reels, TikToks. You can put a feed from your YouTube videos, etc. So it's not just only your funnels and only your programs. It's a way to aggregate your content. So if someone finds you from like a podcast episode, an organic YouTube video, you can send them to the funnel hub, and then they can start following you on all your other social media platforms as well.
Hey, I just noticed that on russellbrunson.com, it says, "I'm Rusty Brunson. This is the coolest thing ever." Do you notice that? And then, is this not his website? What is this? And there's all this like a Lauren Lumsum. Looks like not a real website.
Oh, that's weird. I think they must
funny.
be changing it right now, and they didn't no index.
They're probably changing. Yeah, probably doing something, changing his site, and probably this is one of the templates. It's probably what that is. They mess it up. It's funny.